Okay, anything else that we want to take out of what we learned this morning? And absolutely,
we need to build a building that's incredibly efficient. Well, to do that, your systems have to be really integrated. What's great about the project is it's building on this notion of natural systems.
In many ways, what we're doing in integrative design is we're utilizing nature as our mentor and our model for how systems interact.
The key to designing a high-performance green building is to use the facilitated integrative design approach, which means you want to engage everyone on everything from day one.
Phipps truly is a pioneer because it is trying to go way beyond merely a green building. Right now, green building is about doing less damage. And what we really are trying to do is contribute to the health of the place rather than just do less damage.
I remember attending a Living Building conference in Seattle in April of 2007, and I attended this session on integrative design. And I was immediately convinced that this is the only way that one could truly design a high-performance green building. Now, luckily, we were just about to send out on a request for proposals for design services for our new living building. So when I got back to Pittsburgh, one of the first things I did was change our RFP so that we would require that all the members of the design team follow an integrative design approach in order to participate. And it has been an exciting process.
A conventional design process was generally linear, which means that the architect meets with the owner and creates a series of iterative sketches, then sends those drawings off to the mechanical engineer and the electrical engineer and the civil engineer and the landscape architect and the structural engineer, all of whom possess tremendous skill and acumen at designing their systems, but essentially in isolation, within the silo of their discipline. Integrative design looks at the whole first. To understand the whole, we need to understand the pieces. So what we're looking at is a process whereby all of those individuals are meeting before anybody designs anything. Combining it with this work and what we just heard from our owner in this morning's discussion.
The word charrette has come to mean something very real in the architectural community as a way of getting lots of expertise in the room and actually coming to a level of solution.
The hillside, so you get the graduation between here and here.
Integrated design goes beyond that first charrette. It suggests that by giving everyone your first ideas and talking about it, you can say, well, that decision influences my work in this way. And so if you change your work just a little bit, it makes a big change in the resource use in my sector. And that can involve aesthetic principles, it can involve mechanical needs, it can involve budget.
It's not possible to build something that is cutting edge and certainly something that is trying to set a standard for the future, like the Center for Sustainable Landscapes is in terms of net zero energy, net zero water. Without an integrated process, you can't achieve goals that are that strident.
If the systems in your building and the building itself and its systems are also well integrated, that they work like a Swiss watch, you can't do that without having a really integrated design process.
High-performance lighting means less heat introduced into the space, so I have less of a cooling load. I can actually reduce the capacity and the requirements of my HVAC system and maybe get a higher quality. I can also downsize on that, which means that my wires are smaller, and my ducts are smaller, and my pipes are smaller, and my pumps are smaller, my fans are smaller. So I'm saving money on that side and reinvesting it or shifting it into my envelope. And so if the entire team doesn't participate in that process and understanding those give and takes and those considerations that one impacts the other, then you will not get the benefit of that integrated design.
The idea of integrative design really stems from a way of thinking about problem solving.
It'd be a kind of a mix of these things.
Natural systems are holistic, where the interrelationship of pieces is incredibly efficient. And so the integrative design process is really mirroring that on a level that has to do with project implementation, design, programming, integrating your owners and stakeholders into a particular type of process.
Integrated design tends to require a lot more upfront involvement of the team. And what that means is that design fees, for example, are paid more upfront than they used to be. And so it seems to be a really expensive process when you start. But what you're doing is just pushing the fee towards the front to make sure that everyone can be more efficient because they're working towards common goals down the road.
The building might end up
In integrative design, it is important that everyone agrees on all the goals for the project right up front. It's also important to continually ask questions and challenge your team to work together to design solutions. We need to be smarter. We need to be smarter about the way we live and the way we build and operate our buildings. So I would like to encourage all of you to go as green as you can when you think about building a building. And whether you're building a LEED building or a Living Building Challenge building, everything you can do to raise the bar will have a major long-term impact. And I'm convinced the long-term benefits of building a green building far outweigh the costs. And the integrative design approach is the most cost-effective and efficient way to meet your highest aspirations and goals. It's more than just about building a building. For us, it's important to make the connection between people and plants, and make the connections between the human and the natural worlds, particularly where the natural and the built environment intersect, so that we can begin to heal our relationship with nature.